So the new update is here on the Korean server, and we can check out what's actually going on with all of these changes that we covered earlier in the Korean patch notes. The Tevent Daggers did indeed get nerfed. The tier 1 Tevent Wand is back to normal. There was an absolute ton of skill changes, a load of them with regards to damage reduction and bonus damage, but we also got a rework to Distortion Veil with Guardian Satellite. They also supposedly fixed the bug where if you're gliding for a period of time, you would just plummet to the floor. So that should make it a lot easier to get your flying achievement. We also then have a new battle pass here on the Korean server and a new shop update with this new outfit, so we can look at it a little bit closer on a male and female character, along with the weapons that match the outfit, and there's a cute new morph. So let's get into the details. First of all, those archboss weapon changes. We can see with the Tevent Daggers, they've now added a 10-second cooldown. Just by reading this, it's rather hard to determine how impactful this will actually be. The most logical conclusion I can get is you're going to use your camouflage cloak, entering that stealth, and then as long as you get a kill within 5 seconds of leaving that cloak, you will reset the cooldown of your camouflage cloak. And so it works like normal. But then with this 10-second cooldown, all it really does is prevent you from immediately getting a new kill after entering the camouflage cloak and then going back into that again. So all you really have to do is make sure 10 seconds have passed while you're within the camouflage cloak before you get the next kill. Max duration on camouflage cloak is 6 seconds plus an additional 1 second multiplied by buff duration. If you have 100% buff duration, your camouflage cloak lasts 14 seconds. So you would still have 4 seconds left while in stealth to be able to trigger Tevent Daggers again. So all this really does is make it a little bit harder to get back-to-back kills and continually pop in and out of stealth, but you can still very much use the daggers as pop out of stealth, get a kill, and pop in stealth and run away. And even if you aren't getting the next kill back to back, you simply take that opportunity to run away and reset the cooldown of your camouflage cloak just via its normal cooldown duration. And then when it's ready, you jump into the fight again, looking for your kill, entering stealth, securing that kill within 5 seconds, entering stealth and running off. So ultimately, Tevent Daggers haven't really seen much of a nerf, other than making it a little bit harder to get those back-to-back kills popping in and out of stealth continually. You can still do it, you just gotta make sure you wait 10 seconds within the camouflage so that the cooldown on the Tevent Daggers is reset. And then you can jump out of your stealth and kill something again. As for the Tevent Wand change, well, this is simply a tooltip update. The tier 1 version now properly states it has 100% monster damage bonus. So you were never missing damage, and the only reason to upgrade this thing is to get that 10% defense reduction. Next up, we'll have a look at the skills, particularly on Orb and the Distortion Veil change with regards to Guardian Satellite. So as you can see by the tooltip, it now has that orb effect. Boost Distortion Veil shield health by 20% per orb upon use of Distortion Veil. So let's try and have a quick look what that actually means. If I throw down my 3 orbs on the ground, then we use our Guardian Satellite and we use Distortion Veil, we gained about 4,500. If I use Distortion Veil by itself, we get about 2,900. 3,500 this time because it is going to be random between your min and the max. But we don't seem to be getting upwards of 4,000 like we did when we had the orbs down. So again, let's throw those 3 orbs down. We should get a 60% boost to the shield, use the Guardian Satellite, and we can see we get upwards of 5,000 shield. So that's going to be the new method to make the most of your Distortion Veil. You have to place down these orbs first. Without them, yes, it is then a nerf, as you no longer have that 50% boost just straight up like it did before. But you can get the potential of 60% if you have 3 orbs out. If you don't want to use Star Calling to actually put orbs out, I believe the healing star here should be counted as an orb, and give you at least a 20% boost. Moving on to some skill changes, we can now see that in the description of these skills, it will state in red text, does not apply additional effects. You'll have that on the Greatsword, the Sword and Shield Spectrum of Agony, and the Roar Amplification. Your Dagger's Umbral Spirit and Thunder Spirit, your additional damage on Cleaving Moonlight, and your Venomous Edge. For crossbow, that's on Mortal Mark, Mother Nature's Protest, Lucian's crossbow, Ackman crossbow. On longbow, that's Roxy's Arrowhead, then the Arrowstorm Mastery, and the New Abyss longbow. Abyssal Burst for wand, Mana Ball Salvo from staff, along with Flame Discipline, Mortal Wrath on spear, Starlight Rush on orb, along with the usual satellite effect, Stellar Echo, and Rift Fracture. All were listed here in the patch notes and no longer are affected by additional damage, which is bonus damage, and damage reduction. So that means if a lot of your damage are coming from these sources, there is no point stacking bonus damage to increase their damage. Additionally, if you have damage reduction, there is no point stacking damage reduction to mitigate the damage from those abilities, as they will no longer be affected whatsoever. So these abilities become very useful as a damage dealer to overcome tanks who have stacked a lot of damage reduction, particularly after these changes. All their damage reduction values have been boosted significantly. As a result, they have also halved the amount of damage that you're getting through your counter barrier. But that again is because they have pretty much nearly doubled the amount of damage reduction you're getting from a lot of sources, like your Stalwart Bastion. I won't list all of those sources as it gets quite extensive, but again, in a lot of places, this bonus damage and damage reduction has been doubled, if not more. And that's due to the fact some damage will no longer be affected by damage reduction, and other damage sources, all these extra little hits that trigger off other abilities, will no longer trigger bonus damage. So that should mean you shouldn't get melted as easily, and you will not have tanks running around that take 0 damage to everything. So it creates a little bit more counterplay with regards to how you build up your character and what abilities you're using. You guys will, of course, need to experience that in Battlegrounds for yourself and see what kind of builds people create around all these changes. And just a heads up, we will be having Tico Talks this Tuesday, so later today, and he should confirm whether Global's getting all these changes this week or not. But now let's have a quick look at the new Battle Pass that the Korean server's getting. Ours is usually a little bit different, but it's interesting to see what they're getting. Maybe they'll finally copy and paste it and put it on global. But yeah, in terms of the premium rewards, there's this kangaroo morph with some armor, this Amatoy here, this emote, just a bit of moonwalking, and then also this morph at the end. So yeah, no outfit, no weapons. The shop ain't really any different either to what we've had. They now have a copy and paste of what we have. They used to have like lithographs and stuff you could get, but no more. And on the free track, there's this morph. So not exactly that exciting, and you can see the list of rewards here. It looks like they're now mirroring what we usually have. 100 unlock zones. They used to get like 200. So yeah, it seems like we're finally getting the exact same battle passes. It's very likely we'll see the exact same thing this Thursday. To me, a little bit underwhelming with no weapon skins and no outfits. But I guess the morphs are kind of cool. Looking then at the shop, we can see there is that new outfit here. It comes with this bit of a preview scene as I showed at the intro of the video. And it comes with this emote here. Yum. If we look here in the Mirror Boutique, we can see what it looks like on the male character. We'll throw on the helmet too. And this is it. Not sure why they're doing that again with the hair. They have this very common on a lot of helmets, but yeah, that's the full outfit, male character, with the option to remove the cape on the back. So it goes from this to this. Similarly on the female character, you can remove the cape, and again, it's just like so. Really like those cool little flames they have on the shoulders. As for the weapons that match the outfit, we can see this is the Greatsword, then the crossbows, your book and your wand, your sword and your shield, your daggers, the longbow, the staff, your spear, and the orb. And that's it. All of them having that cool purple flame effect somewhere located on them. Even the daggers just by the hilt. But there's also a new morph here. This cool woolpaca. Pretty cute. And that's it. They don't apparently seem to be selling the Tevent wallpaper and flooring yet, which is interesting, even though they should have added the furniture with this update. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Thanks all for watching. A special thank you to my channel members, and we'll see you guys around.